Every problem you have where you're not in your masculine and you're not relational, and you're not being the man you want to be, comes down to your nervous system in some state of being jacked. That's really all it is in terms of a descriptor of the situation. Yeah, your old shit comes up. We all have wounding from our childhood, and things that seem close enough to it, touch it and poke it, and then you get your nervous system jacked. And that's when you get defensive. That's when you blame. That's when you go stony, which is, what a lot of guys will do. And just like, you're here, but nobody's home. All the things that aren't relational with your woman. And you're doing that out of self-protection because your nervous system has gone into high alert and it's afraid. And then you do things to make the anxiety stop. And that's usually what those behaviors, those non-masculine behaviors are ways to make the anxiety that's risen within you, ways to make it stop. So if your woman comes at you and she's like, hey, I'm upset about this thing, and you're like, but no, you need to understand, and you start to explain shit to her, you get defensive. That's just you trying to get her to stop being upset by explaining something to her. And I say it a million times, like, you're never gonna, if she's speaking the language of emotion, when you come back with information and explanation, like, you might as well be talking two different languages. She's not going to hear you. But you're desperately doing everything you can to try to make her upset stop. What would a relational man do? This doesn't apply to all cases, but look at the 2 sigma on the bell curve. The feminine wants to be felt and heard and understood. And so she's coming at you, and yeah, there's some blame mixed in there. But if you can seek to understand and get curious first before explaining or trying to change her opinion, often when the man is very receptive, it doesn't mean he agrees or acquiesces. That's different, but you can just receive it. Often that's enough that it actually resolves the problem. What I like to say is, in this new course I just released, is the remedy. The expression is the remedy. Just her being able to get it out often has the effect of self-regulating her. And then she comes back into a more settled state. And then maybe you do have a discussion at that point about, the information, the circumstances, the facts. But before that, the secret, if you really want to be relational, is do your best to try to receive what her state as it is. And again, I go into this in depth in this new course I just released that I'm pretty excited about. But those are just, I could go on and on, but those are just some of some of many flavors of what it's like to be powerful, but also more relational.